Hi, I'm Chris Tyler, instructor for RotarySwing.com. Have you been battling with a lot of those miss-hit golf shots that are really frustrating, either off the heel or off the toe? Maybe even battled with some of those fat or thin golf shots? Well, I got some fantastic news for you today. I'm going to walk you through over the next 4 weeks a step-by-step process that's going to help you get into a tour quality impact position every single time. Okay, so your goal in this video series is not only to become a really fantastic ball striker, but is to also have a good, clear understanding of what your problems may have been all along. That's right, so I'm going to actually lay out a detailed list of checkpoints. It's going to give you a good, clear understanding of what you may have been doing wrong and what you're going to look to do to correct it. And if you look at golf as a whole, at a professional standpoint, when you watch all these guys on TV and we see all these different strokes for different folks, right? There's two really common things that are shared amongst all those players. And that's the position of the lead wrist at impact and the maintaining of the angle to the spine through the hitting area. Those two areas are going to be addressed. I'm going to lay out some drills, I'm going to lay out some repetitions that you're going to be doing throughout each week. And at the end of this video series, I'm going to teach you how to ramp your speed up so that you have tons of compression, tons of lag, and tons of speed, just like you've always wanted. Okay, gang, time to get excited. Here we are at week number 1 to correcting your ball striking once and for all. And our goal this week is to be focusing on the position of your lead wrist at impact. I know I said during the opener, what's one of the common things that we see amongst tour players is that they have that flat or slightly bowed lead wrist, where amateur golfers tend to have this wrist position through the hitting area. Now this can add loft to the club, this can make the club come in a little bit scoopy and make it very difficult for you to compress the golf ball properly. So what our focus point between now and next week's video, aside from the left wrist, is that we're going to hit a repetition range here of 1,000 reps. I know it sounds like a ton and everybody's at home is panicking, how am I going to get 1,000 reps done? Well, I'm going to break mine up over 5 days. And this doesn't need to be done out on the golf course or on the driving range. This can be done right from the comforts of your own home, right in front of your garage, even in the kitchen if you feel like that's a good place for you to do it. What we're going to be focusing on is isolating the other moving parts of the body. Again, we're starting out very slow. We're going to put our training wheels on because we have to focus on the position of the lead wrist and the lead wrist alone. So what I want you to do over the next week, and for our 1,000 reps, and I'm going to go for 200 today, so I'm going to go ahead and take my normal setup here, and I'm going to shift my weight over to my lead side by rolling to the inside part of my right foot. So you see how most of my weight is now getting over to my lead side. Now what I want you to do when you're starting to shift this direction is I want you to try to keep your head still. This is going to promote a little bit of what we call secondary axis tilt. And you need that in the golf swing. That helps shallow the swing out. So go ahead, I'm going to show you here from a starting point. I'm going to shift, but I'm going to try to keep my head back behind the golf ball. Now what I want to do when I grip the golf club here is I want to focus on the back 3 fingers of my left hand. Okay, no tension with the thumb and no tension with the pointer finger. So I'm going to focus on these back 3 fingers. That's where a little bit of my pressure is going to be, not tons of it, just like if you were holding that tube of toothpaste that we've talked about in the Fix Your Release video. So I got my pressure back there, and what I'm going to do with my right hand, because this is typically the culprit for causing this Scoopy-like position, is I'm just going to open my palm here, okay? And I'm going to slowly put my fingers around the club, not to the point where there's any sorts of pressure, it's just going to rest there. And what we're going to do is, rather than having any sort of weight shift or big rotation, is we're just going to swing our arms out to 9 o'clock. Again, you can see my right hand is just very relaxed in the club. Any of the pressure that I feel is in these back 3 fingers. Okay, so we're going to swing back to 9. Okay, no pressure on that right hand. And we're just going to go ahead and swing through, focusing on the lead wrist, rotating. The right hand should feel like a backseat passenger here. It should just feel like it's just hanging on. And you're going to focus on the lead wrist just rotating. So your checkpoints here, when you get out to 9 o'clock, okay, lead wrist should be pointed out in front of you here. So you can see that if I had a glove on or my watch is pointed out in front of me. My right hand is very relaxed. My grip pressure is back here in these 3 fingers. And I'm just going to focus on the lead wrist just falling and rotating. So now when I get over to this checkpoint, my glove logo is going to face behind me. Not up in the sky, not down at the ground. Again, make sure that you're not pushing the club through with the right hand. You want the right hand to feel like it's a backseat passenger. Okay, so you're going to just rest your fingers on the outside of it. Okay, and the way this looks, okay, my weight's on my lead side. Swing my arms out to 9, and then I'm going to let my arm just swing through and release. so you can hear how crisp that sound was. If you still struggle and you're noticing that your club head is really starting to look flippy at impact, then get the right hand completely off there and just focus on your left arm for the next week. Promise you, that'll help you drastically. Okay, so this is our game plan. I know it seems a little small, but you gotta remember, we gotta start small first. And when I start to stack in these next pieces over the next 3 weeks, you'll see that all this will come together. We'll have a good impact position with a lot more speed. So get to work. I'll see you guys next week. Let's make it a great day. Okay, so now that we've gotten through week 1 video and you're gonna start to work on your release and your impact position, I wanna let you guys know I'm gonna go ahead and include a special bonus clip of 5 minutes to a perfect release at the end of this video now. It's gonna walk you through a step-by-step process, and if you wanna see that video in its entirety 100% free, then just go ahead and click the link in the description below, or you can click any of those annotations that will pop up on the screen during the video. And remember, if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button down there for me below, and also click the subscribe button up here, so anytime we put out some free videos, you'll be notified on that. And I wish you guys all the best. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post those up and I'll help you out as best I can. I'm looking forward to getting to week number 2 and stacking in this next piece and helping you guys out becoming great ball strikers.
In the Lose the Right Hand drill, I started talking about how you get a speedy release of the golf club without you having to put any effort into it whatsoever. For a lot of golfers, releasing the club is a foreign concept. They've never actually released the club. They use their body. And then the problem with that is if your body keeps turning through impact, the club head and your body have to move at a more relative constant speed together versus letting my body stop and the club can move very fast and my body doesn't have to do anything. In fact, the club can actually release faster as my body slows down and I transmit energy up the chain into the club. So learning how to release the club and let that right hand come off is really important, but obviously we don't play golf left-handed, although I have a lot of students who ask me if they can after they work through these drills that you're about to learn now. What I'm going to do is work through the sequence of how to learn to release the club very, very slowly until you start building the proper movements in there. So here's what I do with all my students. The first thing when they're learning how to release this left hand is we take the right hand completely out of the equation. If you're someone who pushes really hard from the right side or flips that right hand, this is critical. You do not skip this step. You want to start learning how to release the club properly to get into a proper impact position. So at first,